welcome. The driving force of our mass culture, the movies, leave a deep impact on our collective subconscious. So when some films manage to rise above established norms and break the mold, they get us thinking about new things and in new ways. Two films in the past month have done just that. One is the surprise sleeper hit Vicky Donor, and the other one is the powerful but disturbing Ishaqzadeh. My guest today on Beautiful People, directors Shoojit Sircar and Habib Faisal. Gentlemen, it's good to have you on the show. Have you watched each other's films? Because it's going to be intense conversation.
I have. He still hasn't, but
Shoojit.
I will watch it. I'll watch it today.
he's been busy celebrating Vicky Donor.
And why do you think it's managed to get people talk about sperm donation as if it's bread and jam?
I'll have to talk about both our films because you haven't seen mine, but I think basically because it connects, as simple as that.
But where was the starting point? Because it's very clearly a message, and you know, from some of the statements you've been making since the movie released and pre-release, there's, you know, the sperm donation and infertility, and that's the way you can have children is something that you're seeming to wanting to communicate. For you as the filmmaker, was it the story or was it the theme that was your starting point?
See, you never start a point that you want to send a message to a people to watch the film. You normally start with an idea, concept. I mean, in advertisement we have learned that. What's the concept? One line concept. So it was a story of a sperm donor. That's what the idea came from. Juhi Chaturvedi.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's her debut film also.
Yeah.
So I didn't respond the night she told me this idea that there's an idea. So I said, there's a doctor whose clinic is not running and
he's run out of donors.
And he's looking for this guy. So I thought, let me think over. And immediately I sat the whole night and started Googling and things, and I saw, and I laughed and I smiled at the incidents when I was reading. The next morning I told her, let's start. I mean, but also the idea came from a girl, so I thought maybe it's the right time to do it. I mean, if a boy would have given me an idea, I would have possibly thought over.
So it's interesting. So you're saying if women are talking about it, or if a woman can be easy about the subject, then it's something that would be of universal appeal.
Exactly. So no, it's not that. I mean, I don't know about it. I'm just, first she gave me an idea. Second day I bounced off my idea to my wife.
Right.
I said, let's see how she reacts to this.
Right.
I straight away told her it's a sperm donation. She said, immediately do it. So I thought these are two women who were saying I should do a film on sperm donation. So then I didn't look back. Then I said, let's do it.
Somewhere clearly, Habib, the women you write are the real women then, isn't it? Because clearly the women are a few steps ahead of the men.
Absolutely.
We have to talk about Ishaqzadeh. I saw it. And the interesting thing is that it's a very, very powerful film. It's rooted in small town reality, which we don't know. It says head on, you're Hindu, I'm Muslim, and never the twain can meet, at least in your movie. That's what it seemed to suggest because of what people around your main characters were doing, isn't it? How did you get to Ishaqzadeh after Do Duni Char and then Ban Baja Barat, which we are familiar with? I'm not talking about the movies before that.
This issue has always disturbed me.
Yeah.
And its manifestation in terms of honor killings and things is only a metaphor. I would say few people die, about 1,000 to 1,500, but then there are so many more whose love is killed.
Yeah.
There are so many more who do not have a language, an understanding of the other.
Yeah.
So this whole us and them that we still live with. And see, I think there is a filmic reality that we live with, and then there is the real reality that actually exists. So over the years, in the filmic reality, these divides have gone away, but actually you scratch the surface and the divides are very much there. I could have done, very interestingly, Vicky Donor has similar
it's a community divide there, you know, that he brings up.
And he's talking about how there are people who are bridging, which is also a truth. I wanted to show the ugly side of it, where there is a huge population which is wary of the other, and the us and them-ness of our nation is just not going away. And then the ugly side of it surfaces when, especially when alliances are formed, when boys and girls end up either becoming friends or falling in love with each other.
Your movie ends with a sort of filmmaker's comment at the end of the movie, isn't it? Which is about honor killings, whether it's religion, whether, you know, where love is blocked either by religion or caste or subcaste or
region
community
or
or whatever.
demographics or rich or poor.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Trans Yamuna and this side of Yamuna in
Yeah,
Delhi.
yeah. So then, is that the starting point again? You know, is this theme the starting point or the story? And when I say theme, I mean theme. I don't mean message.
See, I'm sure this is what happened with Juhi also. What happens is that as you start developing an idea, I would say, I would give you Doduni Char's example. That started just with the germ of the fascination to buy a car.
Yeah.
The whole...
The 1 lakh nano, I think, was...
Yeah, but the whole... but the whole depth of it, which came with the position of teachers in our society, happened as I started
layered.
developing it.
Yeah, exactly. It got layered, I think.
Yeah. So
It's a process which happens like
and that is what you are. Then you walk away with that.
Yeah.
So likewise in this case, there were these two animals in a small town. They go through a very violent and passionate kind of meeting together, and then as I started developing it, then I.
That's how the layers come on, you're saying.
At least in my process, after a point, these characters sort of take over, and they do these things.
Right.
And once you have given them all that they need to have to be real human beings.
Yeah, see, when you're scripting a screenplay, there are two things. One is you have a story. You know from A to Z the story you know. Then you start developing that film.
Yeah.
And there's another kind of film which is possibly this kind of way, where you start with a concept and then you start threading the story. And you don't know where it's going to end. I mean, you know, maybe, I mean, you have two kinds of ends, you know, so you don't know. It's a process which you go through.
Right.
But the only thing is you stick to your concept. If you stick to your concept, I think then you reach, it takes you there.
You know, I want to bring, pick up something that Habib has just said, and that is, you know, he's talking about these divisions and he's doing it differently from the way you approach divisions. Why did you approach the film in this very light-handed, very open-minded manner? Whether it's the, you know, sperm donation as an idea, and whether it's the inter-community marriages and people's, blogs
See,
about each other.
If you really see it a little deeper into it, I mean, so if you,
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone wrong. It could have gone racial also.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Bong spoke all nonsense a Punjabi is about the Punjabis, and which I could have gone completely racial also. And the Punjabis speak really, nonsense about the Bongs also, which we do in our real life. Let me tell you very frankly, and we are quite worse about it also. But what happened? The marriage ceremony, where both of there are a lot of layerings also. The girl was a divorcee.
Yes.
And his mother was a widow.
Yeah.
So there was all kinds of chaos going on. But I think I've seen these kind of families where the mother and the mother-in-law fighting the whole day, and possibly they're still living in the same house.
And I love the way he ended the whole marriage sequence after all the madness, making the girl's father forcing him to drink, and then everybody's gone and there are just these
Family.
4 or 5 main players, and
They're just chilling out there.
And even the bhangra is like letting go and relaxing into each other's spaces.
When you decide to do things lightly and when you're
I'll
slipping
tell you-
in
I'll tell
so
you
many things, is it what you think and what
No,
you
I'll
bring
tell you
to the table as your thoughts and your view of the world which you want to communicate?
No.
Or is this about the story?
No, I'll tell you what. Maybe my film, Vicky Dona, the subject is a taboo. It's a very closed door discussion. Sarah. So as soon as you tell somebody about a sperm donation, first thing you will say कि कुछ गंदा film होगा, कुछ अच्छा नहीं होगा. Sperm donation is masturbation.
Yeah.
The way Vicky
Correct,
gets
exactly.
slapped all the time.
Exactly.
So we have to be consciously be hygienic about the film. Hygienic to mean to be not vulgar or not a double meaning. You know, we should not cross that line. So I thought even if there in the Punjabi Bengali, if I start creating another thing, I should not go wrong in this concept of sperm donation and infertility.
And if he had made it serious, then there would be a complete change of pitch. He had already set up the pitch of the film from the very opening of the film.
So with the rest, everything be nice and the way positive energy flows in a film. but let the sperm donation be a concept, let it translate. And I realized that the day we released the trailer, slowly the word sperm, which, I mean, we can talk just like that now, I think it's got caught on. I mean, that people started talking about it. I didn't expect aunties and uncles will go and watch it, or families will go and watch it. It just happened that we were discussing. And how it happened, I have no idea.
Let's talk about Anu Kapoor in Vicky Donor, because while while the young man and woman get all the attention, and of course your BG and the daughter-in-law Dolly have got a lot of attention, it's Anu Kapoor who really carries the film on his shoulder, isn't it?
Yes,
because
it is, obviously.
he does the job of explaining, and he also gets it then to an emotional level towards
he's Thakur of Sholay of this film. He's the one who starts the plot and resolves it.
I feel when I realize now that he was not buffoon in the film.
Yeah.
He was not trying to do comedy out there. He was a serious MBBS doctor whose only thing is sperms. He just wanted a sperm guy, and he just wanted to help those couples who are coming to his clinic.
And make money.
Yeah, and because he never deviated from his character in of his what he wants.
So he played a pivotal role in your.
But an overnight superstar, I think, has become his Dolly G and BG.
Yeah.
They have become, I think, the most popular. It's because of that one drinking scene. They sit across and drink.
And the second one in which he says, "Aaj mood nahi hai, aaj nahi bana."
So that become a cult scene, I think, because a lot of Punjabi women have sent me a Facebook messages that
Punjabi women are sending you Facebook messages.
that at least now when we go to wedding, we'll be offered drinks, not soft drinks.
Nice.
So I thought it was quite progressive, possibly at that moment.
This is perfect cue to Habib. Habib, you have written some of the most normal, contemporary female characters I've seen in a long time, okay? Especially the last
in
two films.
Ishaq case, I have also been accused of being a sexist and regressive.
I'm coming there because I'm not sure that I accuse you of being sexist or regressive, but I have some problems. My question to you is, do you feel somewhere, while you depict what is the reality for a lot of people, do you feel somewhere subliminally, because that's what the movies do, the messaging is that this is what love is. Somebody will treat you badly, and you will just go along with it when somebody wants to treat you well, and you will accept it as love. For a lot of men and women, young people, for who love is an idea they'll get after seeing Ishaq maybe, that this is love. This is the way the relationship can be. Do you feel that's a fear I have?
I find audiences and individuals are far smarter than that. Each individual works out their own definition of love. It's not as if I have seen Casablanca or Love Story, Eric Segal's, or Akhiyon Ke Jaroko Se, or Mughal-e-Azam, and I have defined, okay, this is how I'm going to fall in love. No, there is a straightforward, simple narrative. A girl is wrong, she comes out to kill him. That is her first step. She comes to this guy's house to kill. She interacts with another character who does make an impact on her, who tells her that, hey, listen, हार के मरने में कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, अगर तुम इस जानवर को इंसान बनाओ तो जाने. So there is a challenge that is being thrown again by a woman, not by a man.
I think maybe Parma was made a little more lovable, like Band Baja Barat's Bittu. At some point.
My only reaction is, I don't want to keep making Band Baja and Barat again and again. I don't want to keep making.
Fair enough.
When people turn around and they tell me, but Dudhuni Char was better. Please, if I am taking the risk to move out of Dudhuni Char,
let me take it.
Then at least give me a chance and watch Ishaq.
But I think that's what people did. But I think people went and saw the movie. I think a lot of people went and saw the movie because it's a love story, it's exciting, the promos look great. And a lot of people went to see it because of Habib Faisal. I went to see it because of Habib Faisal. I'm putting it on the record.
But you know your cinema studies, you know your male gaze, you know your whatever. The regular audience doesn't know Habib Faisal. Somebody sitting in Bhopal and Ratlam and Sagar, which is where the film is done very well, where there are Zoyas all around them, and they don't know the isms, and they know the strength of those same Zoyas, and they know their weaknesses in letting Zoyas go to school and college and drive jeeps, and when Zoya turns up and says, hey, listen, I'm in love with so-and-so, forget about somebody from a different religion. just the fact that I am in love with so and so is a big taboo. So forget about caste, religion, rich poor divide. Just the fact of falling in love is such a big. We have a filmic reality in which falling in love has become very easily acceptable.
Yeah.
Now we consider that reality as the reality. Now if I am saying, hey listen, this is actually the reality, then it is considered a cliche, not again by the audience, by people who have tools to understand cinema. I was actually quite baffled. I thought that people who have these tools to understand cinema would easily get what I am trying to do. They did not.
No, I didn't actually.
They expect me to make a different film. Everybody wants me to make a Kill Bill, but I don't want to. I have from the very beginning of the film set it for you. What is the film that I am making?
Vicky Donor begins very, very light and funny, and there are a lot of laughs in the film. And then it gets into an emotional space. Is that the way Indian audiences work? You made a lot of ad films. Is emotion what Indian audiences get best?
A lot of people tell me that it's a comedy film. I mean, but if you seriously see those characters, they are not doing comedy out there.
Yeah.
They're quite serious in their own work,
Yeah.
right? And see, finally, I can't do faff and laughter for 2 hours. I'm not that kind of person. The 2 hours I'm going to create. They asked me the whole film end mein, second half mein, why there is not laughter. I said, why? I mean, I'm not doing for gags. This film is not about gags. Finally, it has to end up to an infertility. That's what to be a conscious.
The irony of the.
So that irony has to come out. Yes, in the second half, it goes to a little serious zone. But
not serious. Even the tone, it becomes emotional. The tone changes. Would you agree?
See, it had to happen because at some point his life was going like that, child. At some point he had to get it out of. Somebody would have been stopping him somewhere down the line, and his marriage and whatever the irony or satire happens to his life. So I think it was. I could not find anything else. For example, Do Duni Chahat. I must tell you that it was quite a driving force for Vicky Donor.
Really?
Yeah. The kind of people we saw in Do Duni Chahat, I don't think Indian cinema had seen those characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first time we saw this, me and Ju used to discuss Do Duni Chahat. I used to tell my casting guy, let's do casting, which is nobody has seen, first time, and the real casting. Utha ke wahan se leke aate. And these casting, my film is driving on casting a lot. Apart from whatever, it's completely casting. Because and I can tell you that my film is. People say it's a director's medium. I say it's a director's medium. But Vicky Donor is quite a team effort. The writer has done his job brilliantly. Casting has done his job brilliantly. So all those departments have worked brilliantly there. Possibly that's why it's fallen all in place. A lot of people say I'm making a sequel or I'm making a Vicky. No, come on, I am not. I am not. My next film is completely opposite. No, it's not laughter. It's not a family film.
Yeah.
It's something else. I cannot. I am.
Good luck with that.
He says very aggrieved. I can hear the aggrieved tone.
No. I am loving this.
You're loving the debate.
No, see, but the interesting thing is that the film has engaged enough for people to have very passionate
but
debates.
like I said to introduce you, that it's making you look at things in a new way.
So I am loving it if people are ripping it apart and saying, hey, listen, you write strong women and what is happening here? So great, at least there is some strength in some part of the film.
I didn't have a problem with the woman accepting him. My problem is that his character, at least on the movie, didn't seem to offer any reason for the woman to like him. I think Parma needed a little bit more love and little less.
Like I said, you are a maker and a viewer.
Yeah.
So when I write and I view, I feel that a guy, if I am just taking this shower of slaps, one after the other, and all I'm saying is, I'm from the bottom of my heart seeking forgiveness. then I think that's
But
enough.
I think it's the male gaze and the female gaze. That's the way I interpret it.
And by the
Anyway,
way, the male gaze drops like how when Zoya takes Parma to the brothel,
Yeah.
and there are these two women who are talking
Yeah.
about him. He's not able to look at
Yeah.
Chand maybe in
Yeah.
the eye,
Yeah.
and he's not able to
Yeah.
look at Zoya. So male gaze is just completely taken care of in that scene.
Okay, if you insist. So, so a completely different movie is on the cards from you next, and that's Jaffna, right?
I cannot create another comedy. It's coming. Definitely people are
Yeah,
going
and
to walk
you
into the
shouldn't.
theater.
Yeah.
That
That's
okay,
okay.
now इसमें भी कुछ comedy होने वाला है.
Shoojit is like saying, अच्छा ये हबीब के साथ हुआ, अब मेरे साथ होने वाला है.
No, see, I am not here. This is not my. I mean, cinema is passion for. It's not living. I mean, I live. I have enough money to live. I don't have money from cinema. And for technicians, money is not the issue. For technicians, don't earn money. Producers earn money.
Yeah.
We technicians just that our film should be seen out there. We should tell a nice story. I've got 10, 12 stories to tell. And in this lifetime only, I have to tell them.
And thanks to Wiki Donor, a lot of them will get told now, isn't it?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, success in terms of when it works in a box office
Yeah.
and people listen to you.
Yeah,
It's sad.
absolutely.
It gives
It's
you
quite
a-
sad, but it is the way.
So way of the world, what to do now? Habib, what happens with you next?
I'm playing Ina Mina Mainamo. As in, good thing about being a writer
What
is that
story
there's-
you want to tell next is what
Yeah.
you're deciding.
Definitely a different world, because creating a world is very, very exciting for me, always. So, the world and a story which is organic to that world. But yeah, definitely different from Lajpat Nagar and Almore, and so something else.
Something else, and delightful female characters, real female characters. Gentlemen, it was lovely talking to both of you.
Thank you.
And your films got us talking, as I said. So thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lord.